Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Broston County. Part number 29 in this Two Builders, One City series, where I am building the city or the region of Broston County with my good friend Destin. And we are once again kicking things off like we did last week with me detailing. This is about an hour and 20 minutes total, shrunk down into just under 6 minutes. We're over here by the zoo and the university stadiums and the music park and all that good tourist trap type stuff. I started out by just adding in some trees to fill in the empty space over by the zoo and amusement park. The thought being that that is land that is reserved for the zoo to expand in the future, even though there's, obviously nothing else to add, but that's the idea, the story behind it. And then I just came back over here and by the stadium, added in a little bit of plant life and doing this, just adjusting a few buildings, adding in a few trees, and then just playing around with assets and dragging them a little farther away from roads to see if I can't get a little bit better spacing to give me a little bit of space for some additional landscaping. Just kind of spruce the area up, just bring it to life a little bit. You'll see several times me jump into Bob to look and see what trees were used in different assets, because I wanted to try to keep things fairly similar. I went with a fence here, and it caused the buildings, they're still 4x4, so I don't really understand what happened, but it caused the buildings to spawn. So I abandoned that, just went with a really big, long line of oaks. But yeah, you'll see me going into Bob several times just to be sure that I have the right tree. And then once we get into the zoo, I even try to do I guess you could say region-specific trees for the zoo. I am just putting young lindens in on all the pathways. But I wanted to try to keep it, with animals and the parts of the world that they're from. Try to keep the plant life that's by them consistent with, what would be found natively in the areas where those animals came from. And then if there's not anything too terribly specific, then trying to keep just with the generic zoo trees that were used, which are some older trees. But just getting a few more things out here by the botanical gardens and by our statue all lined up. And then I'm filling in a bit of the blank space with just some trees just to make it feel a little more, set off from the rest of this downtown, and like it's not, just all that open land is just kind of blah. You want something to kind of break up your sight lines and to make the place feel alive. So getting through the amusement park, which was pretty quick, and now we're over to the zoo, where we are going to spend the next 3 minutes. It was closer to like 40. We do a couple rock features, and I will go real heavy on the ground cover here by this, and then come back through and add in a few trees. There are some African animals over here, so I went with some African trees. And by the flamingos, I thought, hey, let's do a palm tree of some sort, because flamingos, palm trees, whatever. Anywhere that I go through and like blanket down the trees, just using move it and copy, I then went back in and deleted them inside of the zoo. Sorry that it's jumping around a whole lot there. I was trying to find a good angle. But here you can see I'm using the same tree from the assets that are nearby, which for the most part were the Corsican pine, the yew tree, and the sugar maple. For the most part. Over here by the bisons and the deer, we are using some conifers and things like that. Switch back to the sugar maple though, for whatever that enclosure is. I'm not really sure. Just making this area feel a little bit more manicured around the birdhouse. I think that's birdhouse, that might be the insect house. And then just going to blanket in a bunch more. They'll use Corsican pines, yew trees, and everything just to keep it consistent. Went into the first person camera for a second just to see how it felt, and it was fine. Now I get brave and add in a water feature, which actually turns out fine. I was really worried that it was going to flood things and cause all kinds of problems, but no, it worked fine. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. Even went through and added in just a little bit of color there, and I think it looks pretty good. Moved back, or actually, I didn't move the Tarsier house back. I just added in a little bit. Did I say that right? Tarsier? I don't know. I just added in a little bit of landscaping leading up to it, and then some bamboo for some separation, and a few more trees. And that's like, and then one more little area for a plaza and some outdoor dining, and then some bathrooms, and that's it. That was like an hour and 20 minutes, all shrunk down into quick time. And here's a quick overview, and then we will jump into today's build. And here we are, back kind of where we left off, and you can see the stark contrast between the areas I detailed and those that I have not yet, over there and over there. Hopefully we'll get to it all. That's the plan. So we did have one more bus line break again, and it was one that Destin had put in over here. And it did the same weird thing where it had a bus stop, one of these that are right in this area. I want to say it was this one. Then this next one was still there. But between the two, there was a bus stop in this park right here on the path. And I couldn't delete it. I couldn't remove that stop. Actually, there were two stops. There was another one like way over here somewhere. That one was easy to delete. But then, of course, since you can't place a bus stop, you also can't remove a bus stop from a path. So I had no choice but to delete the line entirely and start over. So hopefully that does not continue, though I am nervous. So today, we are going to build a little neighborhood over here. There is no build from Destin this week. Just due to my production schedule, I need to get a couple videos done, and unfortunately that means I don't have the luxury of time right now to get it back to Destin and then get it back from him. So I'm just having to do two. What did I click? I'm just having to do two videos back to back, and then apologize to Destin for not including him in a week, even though we're getting really close to the series. There's only 4 more in the series after this, which is hard to believe. It's just, I can't believe Broston County is coming to an end already. So where would this want to like curve? Right about there. So I'm gonna bring this back to here-ish, and then we're just gonna go straight right here to right about there, and then we will curve around into here. Gonna have some undeveloped land there. We could bring another little road here, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm gonna be just okay with it as is. And then let's see here. If I bring this out one more, that's gonna go past that. So let's bring it out just a little bit, so we can get somewhat of a straight section there, and then right there like that. And then for the rest of these roads, I'm going to follow the shoreline for the most part, though I am going to bring just one more. Actually, I'm going to go like 2 blocks this way. Or we could just bring this all the way over to like here. Let's go right there and then start following the shore. So we will come back like that. I don't really need these snap 2s. They're gonna be causing more trouble than they are worth. And then here, and then I want to quickly get away from the rail. So let's actually, now that I turned all those off, turn them right back on and bring this out a fairly good distance from this rail line here in just one long straight stretch, and then figure out a curve here, though I don't know that that's going to be the easiest thing. I'm going to back that off just a little bit. Oh, that is really loud on my headset. Let me There we go. Turn down the volume of the game. You probably could hear the game through my headset. And then we will curve that around like that. And then I want to come back into my train view. Yeah, this is all nice and flat. So I want to kind of just follow the highway again. So I don't need this. So let's go off of that line. Bring this down to about here. And then follow this. And then we need to curve with the highway. I'm not going to worry about using the parallel roads. I'm still struggling to say that word. It's so frustrating. Mainly because that's just that little bit right there, because then we're just going to curve down into here, but I would like this to be a 90 all the way through, and then we'll just make that connection there. And then we just need to figure out what we're going to do back here in this corner. And I think what I'd like to do is bring this around just a bit to about there, and then see if we can't get a decent curve here that doesn't look too strange. No, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I like that. Cool. So down here on this straight bit, we are going to have some retail over here. What I'm hoping is to be able to fit in like a grocery store right there. I don't know if we're going to be able to or not. If not, we'll find another place. But I'd like a little bit of retail, and the reason I left so much space on this side is I want to do just I don't know, just a nice little river walk that kind of comes down here and then up to this intersection and then down and around to the grocery store, and the same here, where it'll kind of just turn in right there. But we are going to have just a small, I don't need that to do anymore, a small section here with a grid, not a whole lot. Mainly because we don't have a whole lot of grid here. In fact, this is kind of the end of it right here. So that is 1800, so we'll go 900. Yeah, that'll work. And then we'll bring it back. And maybe one more. No, I'm thinking not. Now, out here where this is a nice big straight area, we are going to have a grid again. I'm sorry. But I think it's okay. So this is 3,600. So if I did... how do I want to do that? Like 600 each? What does that look like? That would just be tiny little squares, which would be okay. And that would give me 6 blocks. Let's see how I like this. I think I actually do like it. So I'm thinking, since this is out by the highway, this would be a little less desirable. We're away from the river, so you're not getting those views anymore. And you are kind of by the noisy highway, so it would definitely be slightly less desirable land. So I think we can get away with something like this. Or, whoop, not like that. Oh, kind of interesting looking road, but that's not what I wanted. All right, cool. So little downtown area right here. This will all be residential. And then I just need to figure out what I want to get in between all that. But before I do that, I need to see, and I always forget where these things are. So I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to turn all this back on. I'm going to bring that back to here, and then right, I don't want it to connect. Right to there. No, one more. I want to do one more than that. Go right there, and then to there, and take a look and see. Actually, change my mind again. I know, I'm being indecisive. It's 10:30 at night, and I'm allowed to be indecisive. So that's where it was. Okay. So we're gonna go right to there, and then we're gonna check out our parking lot situation. Let's see here. I was really hoping to get 2 in and leave a little gap on that corner, but I can't, and I do want 2 of them up here at the front of this thing. So then, where were you? You were here. Yeah. Where is your sign? It's right there. So we're gonna bring this back this way, because I think it's important that this sign is up by a major road. I mean, yeah, is the parking lot the nicest thing to look at? No. But is it a necessity for such a building? Yeah, it is. Let's bring that through there and then bring this back and around and then meet up there. And then we might be able to do a little bit more parking right here, possibly? Question mark? But I could do something like this and have just like a big gap in between there, but that seems kind of silly to do it that way. So yeah, I know. Delete. Thank you. And this is frustrating that things don't fit the way I want them. How far away from that will you tolerate? Pretty dang far. Like, do you ever complain that you're not on a road? No. Because what I'm thinking is put that there and then come into our transportation, come over here to our decorative concrete and then just square this off. Like that, and then we can do some trees on this end, some trees on that end, and that gets us an extra bit of parking. We can do just some small trees down through here. And then we've got our fresh food sign right there. And we have our grocery store that I wanted. Yay! So I'm going to go ahead and get some water pipes out here and then figure out the rest of our road layout. And then we'll look at city services and all of that good stuff. And this is what I've come up with, which doesn't look like much because we've got some big areas in the middle, but those are there for a purpose, mainly for schools, because we need schools. We don't need so much high school capacity, so I'm going to go for the Institute of Creative Arts, and I'm going to try to get it in right about here. And then the reason I left so much space for it, as I hiccup, is I want to get in, that one's too big, I want to get in a couple of ballparks and then some parking along the side. So we'll bring this one in here. And then here I want to have some parking. So we'll do like right there and then come into our parking lot. So we're going to go fairly big on this parking. There we go. And then I want to bring that on out to the end there and do this in hopes that I can get another ball field of some sort back here. Let's see. We've got a football field, which is too big. Well, the soccer. Oh, the soccer fits there nicely. Yeah, I like that. Cool. That works for me. I might actually change my parking up just a little bit here. Bring this. Don't connect. Okay. You're connected. I said don't connect, and what'd you do? You connected. Turn off grid. Wait, it really does not want to go where I want it to. We're gonna move this to here because what I'm hoping, and even though we just used these, I think. So sad. Okay, what if we bring you on around the curve a little bit then? Because I think a gymnasium would be kind of cool back in here as well. But yeah, let's get it up there so that our parking lots are somewhat lined up, and then we're looking at a more interesting architectural side of the building. I'm gonna see if how far over I can bump that. Right there. Cool. So that gets us a couple of sports ball type fields. And then we just need, I do want this connection here. And then I want to bring this connection that's right here out past the baseball diamond. We're going to have to use Anarchy for this and try my best to mirror that curve that's on the diamond. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, I got it. Cool. And then bring that down right to there, and I think that will be fantastic. So they can walk through there, so I don't really need a path there. We could maybe do with a path that shoots pretty much straight in here. Like right here. Let's bump it over a little bit. That way we get a little bit of connectivity through there as well. It needs a lot of detailing, obviously. But for the most part, looking pretty good. I want to add a fence. We're just going to go with the park fence. And we are going to back it off here just a little bit. Bring it down to here and then just across right here. Maybe. Let's try this again. And turn off my road guidelines because they are not doing me any favors whatsoever. So, man, this just doesn't want to... Whatever I do, it doesn't want to line up to the different sides. So what if we just kind of sneak up on it here? And have just one little crooked section that if you won't tell anybody, I won't. And we'll bring that along like that. And then we're going to do a fence right there. A fence right here. And then try our dangdest to get this to connect following this road. Let's turn everything off. This is going to be tricky, isn't it? Maybe if we build it in little sections, we can do it. I think we're going to get away with it. Pretty close. Let's bring this in just a bit. Works for me. Cool. And then we could continue the fence up this side, but I don't really see the need for it. He says as he builds it anyway. And then I don't think we need it here or here. I think that will be just fine. So I'm going to get water underneath the rest of this. Now I've got it all laid out. That way I know where my water pipes need to go. And that gets us water pipes. Cool, cool, cool. So we've got plenty of high school capacity, 2,700. Elementary, only 800. It's barely in the green, so I would like to have another school. We're going to tuck the school into the corner right here. We're going to do some faculty parking just behind, just like 2 little lots, just like that. And then we're going to do a couple of things in this area. Once again click the correct button, which is here, and we're going to stick with our large playground. We're going to bump it in over here, but we are also going to make this a park area. I'm not going to put any gates on it because I just don't think it's that kind of park area, but I'd like to just make this just a nice big happy place to go. We're going to include the playground and just like that, and then we're just going to stick with our dirt paths since that's what's on the playground. We're going to bring one up this way and then down through here, and then we're going to connect this to the back door. Where is there a door? Hello, do you have doors back here? No. Really? There's not a single door on the back of this building? Man. Really? That's it? Those are your doors? Well, that's not safe. I mean, I hate to tell you, but if your kid goes to this school, they're gonna fry in a fire. Yep, there's Happy Thoughts by Brandon. So, what'd you do today? I don't know. I watched some YouTuber talking about kids dying in a school fire. It was weird. It was weird. And now I've probably got, like, some watch list. Why does it do that? Like, make the path become really ugly like that? Oh, because I'm using different paths? That's probably why. Yeah, I want dirt paths, and then I didn't stick in the dirt paths. That could be why it got all ugly. Let's see. Yep, that was why. Run one there. We'll make another connection right here. And then we'll come over here and do like a trail that just kind of loops back on itself and then makes a connection in that corner. Lovely. And then we're just going to fill this up with various park items. Like we could have a big chessboard somewhere in here. Let's have a, really? I have to have a gate for this to work? That's disappointing. Alright, well that's fine. We will add one gate then. We'll just go with the, oh, it's gotta be a main gate. We'll add one right about there. And we will just make this connection here. And now it should be happy. Like I said, I don't really, not so much into like charging people for this park. I just want a park. Actually, let's bring this more back this way, away from our playground. I kind of want that section to be wooded. This is going to be too big to fit. No, we can get it there. That works. And then we will do some additional playground style equipment closer to the school. If I can get them to fit in nicely. That'll work. And then, I don't know that I want a cafe or anything like that in here. I don't think that's the thing I'm going for. So I'm going to throw in a couple gazebos just slightly removed from the path. Like that. And then let's look through, is there any zoo assets I could use here? Nature reserve asset. We could, you know what? I'm going to throw in a bouldering site right down here in what's going to be a little wooded area. I think that's kind of cool. And then there's really not a whole lot to look at for a lookout tower, so I don't think we need any of those. We don't need any campgrounds or anything like that either. Anything from here that would be kind of cool? Not really. So I think that might be about it, and then we'll just eventually add some detailing there. Not the highest entertainment value. I'm not even going to bother like turning on any of the policies. If it makes money, it makes money. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't care. So cool. But it's there to add park value back to this corner. That's really all it's there for. So that means if I'm not building that here, I don't know what I want to do with this area down here. No clue. Could be part of the Riverwalk. Yep, I think it's just going to be part of the Riverwalk, which we are going to do just a basic pavement on this. And then I'm going to bring that in, and we're going to try to keep it right on that contour line right by the river so that it doesn't deform, because this is not one of the paths that automatically self-leveling, I think is the word. And we'll bring this up a little bit to right. Let's get this to meet up nicely. There we go, because that's right about where the crosswalk would be. And then we'll bring this back down. And right here we can start following the shoreline back around, and we're just going to follow this all the way around until we get to where we want to bring it back into a neighborhood. There we go. Nothing fancy, but it works. It's functional. It's there. What I'm hoping is now that if I grab our park area and bring it over here and bring it to just this side of the trail, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be there. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get in some of our fishing piers and things like that. Whoops. I accidentally just made a whole separate park, so we'll just cover that up. Pretend it didn't happen. And that should be good. I'm going to go a little bit out into the water. So remember, right, if you try to stick one of those down, the part that's in the water is like, I'm not in a park. And it freaks out. And then we can just sever that. Sever that, though. There we go. And then let's turn that off to make sure I've got everything in here. Yeah, probably need to bring this about halfway out to the water, honestly. I thought we were farther out than that, but it was really hard to tell with that overlay we had. Cool. So, like I said, I'm hoping this means I can get a few of these piers in here right off this path. Can we not be in this view, please? It's just so dumb. Is that going to be close enough? Is it going to complain? No, it is not going to complain. Excellent. And then that should be close enough there, but I'd really like it more like here. Well, that one's happy as well. And then I want one more of that same one right there. That one, however, is not a happy camper. So I think that the ones in here are longer. Yeah, it's just a little bit longer and doesn't complain. Cool. They do need power, but they'll get power. Because we're going to have zoning along here, so the power will jump. Awesome. So that brings the entertainment value up pretty high, actually. The only place we're going to be charging people to enter, though, is way back here. And let's be honest, we're not going to get that much traffic back here because there's not a lot of lots back here. So, cool. Let's get some zoning in now. So I want this to be, actually, services. Let's think about our city services before we do zoning. We do need healthcare and all of that stuff. So I'm going to go with, like, a city service corner right here because I love putting all my city services on a corner by each other. It's like the little, here's your tax dollars hard at work section. And then every town needs a post office. If you get a zip code, you get a post office, right? And I'm sure this area would have... Well, it's probably part of this town, to be honest. We haven't used many banks in this build. As you can see, a lot over there. But then I kind of forgot over here. No, I guess I put some in. I don't know when I did that. Yeah, I don't remember doing it. But we will give them a bank as well. The bank would love to have some really prominent placement. So we'll put them right across from the grocery store. So when you go to buy your Wheaties, you can go to the bank. Sure, I guess, whatever. And the rest of this is just going to be a low density commercial. We will leave just a bit of space by the bank. And we're just going to run this right up to there. That way we can get a little bit of trees. And then we're going to do a little bit of commercial here. And maybe not right on that road. Let's actually back it off. And then that's it, I believe. We could still do a commercial corridor down here, but I'm thinking this will be okay for residential. Yeah, it's really close to the highway, but one, the highway is up a little bit higher. And two, we can always put in a sound wall and some trees to add some separation. So we have really big residential demand still. We've got our unemployment starting to creep back up, so I'm not certain that we're gonna really do a lot here. I want to leave a little bit of space there and then just start zoning all of this. I'm not really concerned with bigger lots in this area, but maybe over here by the water we will do some slightly bigger lots. So let's just get all this in. I think we could do with a strip of commercial over here by the school, because your kid needs a place to use his fake ID to buy beer. I've got to, like, just feed into the nightmares of every parent every time I make those stupid jokes. You know, it's the place where somebody can pay $10 to a stranger to buy him a pack of smokes. Yeah. You know what? Since they're going to be along the highway, we're gonna leave a bit more space there, but we are gonna fill all of this in really dense, because that is the name of the game right now. Is just getting all of this to build up. How many times do I have to go into play it and do that? Like, I don't know what makes it turn back off. Obviously something, or maybe the next rain cycle, who knows. But just gonna spam in a ton of zoning, and then we will take a look at what's next. definitely taken a while to fill everything out. Our population hasn't even really grown that much. One of the things I realized we haven't put in a while are any of our elder care or child care facilities. So I'm going to get one right here. Kind of odd for child care right across from the high school, but I don't know, maybe the high school kids are getting college credit by working in the daycare. Who knows? And then we're going to do elder care. We're going to give them their own little campus right here. It's going to be the only thing in here. We're going to lose a house or two. Gosh, that really doesn't give me good coverage. Let's do that here. Not by the grocery store. Here? Yeah, that's good coverage, actually. Yeah, that's very good coverage. And then let's look at what's zoned there. Like, I don't want anything right next to it. And then they've got access to the trail and everything. So that's kind of nice. So that gets me some child care and some elder care. I don't have any death care over here either. And it shows. You can see all throughout. They're just like, hello, we would like a place to put our dead people. I've got a little city services area right here with police station, fire station, and a clinic. So I think I'll throw in a crematorium. And that should, because we've got death care over here, that should give me pretty good coverage right here. Wow, as if on cue. Somebody died. That's well done. We want to give them the luxury here's. Same over here. We didn't do that last time. All these nice places, I give them the luxury here's. So while, oh no. Yep, there we go. We've got broken transit again. Wow, Broston County, are you gonna make it through 4 more videos? So we've got a bus stop here. We've got a bus stop here, and I need to get a bus route over to here, and I need to get them to the train station. But I don't want to have just another bus stopping on the street. So what we're going to do is come in with our compact bus station. We are going to use a little eminent domain on some businesses. And that's just sad, but it's the way it is. And then we're going to grab this stop and... Ooh, that does a weird... that does a very big weird. So let's move this over. Sorry to those businesses that I relocated and didn't need to. Now, yeah, that doesn't do as much weird. And also, I don't think there's a need for this to be a one-way. It's kind of a cool idea, but I don't think it's necessary. So I'm going to just convert this into a regular road. I think it'll be fine. I hope it'll be fine. If it turns into a problem, well, we'll fix it. And then I want this. Oh, is this now broken? No, I just gotta wait. Yeah, that's all I gotta do there, is because they just gotta realize that they can still make that. So let's let that happen real quick. That bus should, yep, that took care of it. So I want to move this stop into here, and then I want to create a new line that comes out over into this neighborhood. Now this is going to be tricky just because of the shape of everything. I keep doing this to myself, but I think if we come down this middle bit here, this gives us good access because we're only a couple blocks away at any given time. But this is where we start getting into problems, is when we start getting multiple blocks here. So I think we'll come back a little bit here, bring it back down, and then I'd really like to have access out here by the park. So do a stop there, and then we're going to come in to this block and come across. And I think that will work. And then we're going to do one out here. And then we're going to loop it back around and just match our stops. Is there a stop right there? There is a stop right there. You would think I would know that. We get right at the elementary school. We get close to the high school. I mean, that's right there. You know, so that's not too bad. And it brings people in to the athletic facilities as well. So that's a good thing. And this gets us pretty good coverage for everything except over here. They're just going to have to not have a bus stop. Even gets us pretty close to the grocery store, so you can go get your groceries. Cool. And that gets us a line over into that area. So this will eventually fill in. So I'm just going to let the game kind of run in the background for a while. I wonder if that bus line took care of... There was a massive number of people walking across this bridge. Yeah, it did. Because now they can just take transit. Did a little bit of light detailing. I did forget a little bit back here in behind the grocery store, so we're going to take care of that right now with 6 trees. Only 6. No more, no less. And I think that's good for detailing for the rest of this area. I didn't want to go crazy with it because this isn't a really high upscale type neighborhood. So just some trees in the backyard, in the park, and then some screening for the railroad, and then all along the highway. And I think it's good. It's a light touch. A little bit of wooded area here by the school just to keep some of that light out of this neighborhood. They've got the commercial right there, so it doesn't really matter. And then just a little bit of extra detailing down and through here just to make it look a little nicer. And that's all I did. And then I just kind of scattered some trees. Just filled in a little bit along the shore. Don't want to block the view of the river. So yeah, I'm just going to let this continue to go for a few more minutes. May include some time-lapse footage, may not, but it looks like for the most part we're starting to get filled in. We've got a gap back there, and a few gaps in through here. This is all filling out for the most part. I did add a couple dog parks and community gardens and things like that. Just nothing too huge to get all excited about. But we'll kind of watch from here and see the rest of this fill in. For the most part, everything's filled in. We still have a couple of gaps. A couple back here, a couple over here. We have this one odd little home right there. But for the most part, everything's looking good. One thing, even from the zoomed out view, that I was happy to see is that our river walk is being used. I think that would be, kind of the pride of this community, is that they have this amenity. They can go out, they can just look at the water, they can do some fishing if they like, and just enjoy some of the nature, but still be in town. Yeah, their view across the water is of another town, but there's still a lot of trees and things there to, make them feel as though they are in nature. I did try to lower this, but it just lowered the land, so I left it like that. It's looking good. I do want to see just where people are going on these paths. And the answer is everywhere. Wow, like they're coming all the way over to here and all the way back into there. For this one, they're going all the way back into that corner. And then this one, I don't know if it's getting used as much. Yeah, it's really not. They're coming out here. There's really nothing here. They just walk across and there's a few houses and there's a dog park here. But we do have community gardens plus the fishing cabin right here. So, of course, this would be a rather popular destination. And I dig it. There's not a lot of traffic coming into here because it's mostly residential. We've added about 3,000 people today. So, good work all in all. And I'll probably let this run for another half hour or an hour. I'm going to hand it back off to Destin. There are only 4 more Broston County videos. I believe that the final one comes out the Friday right after, in the same week that Skylines 2 comes out. And for Pine Pass, the final video of that comes out the day that Skylines 2 comes out. And then the following week, just a month from now, we will be doing City Skylines 2. It will be a while before we have another 2 Builders, 1 City, but Destin and I have already talked about it, and there are plans to do it. So we will be back, but we still have 4 more videos if the simulation doesn't break down on us and give us a bunch of broken mass transit. So far, it's only happened 3 or 4 times, so I think we'll be okay. Anyways, gonna leave it here. So until next time, I'm Brandon, looking at a truck in the middle of the ocean. Okay, sure. Reminding you to stay vainglorious.